Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Star Flames, and we're back with another video, baby. In this video, we're gonna talk about GloRilla getting arrested over the weekend, all because she had a home invasion while she was away from home. A relative of hers, they were staying there, they were staying at her property because I guess she wanted to ensure that someone was there at all times. Now, GloRilla lives in Forsyth County, Georgia. It is said that on Saturday at around 1:30 a.m., three suspect, they were armed. They broke into her home, and while they broke in, they were making good their escape with her valuable jewelry and other valuable items. Now, GloRilla's relative, who was armed, fired at the intruders. The intruders made good their escape with whatever they have stolen so far. So, this relative of GloRilla decided that, hey, intruders, valuable items missing here, we're gonna call the police. They called the police in, and the police, they were assessing the situation. They came in and they realized that there was a very strong odor coming from somewhere inside the house. So the strong odor smelled like some kind of narcotics, in their opinion. So they got a search warrant, they got their K9 unit, and they started searching GloRilla's home. Now, when they started searching her home, what they found was a significant amount of marijuana. Marijuana is actually illegal in her county and state. So it is deemed as a narcotic. So they found it in plain view in the closet of the master bedroom based on what the county sheriff is revealing. So GloRilla was later charged with felony possession of marijuana, possession of Schedule 1 controlled substance. After she was learned of the discovery, she was made aware of the discovery, and she decided that she was going to turn herself in voluntarily at the Forsyth Community Jail. So she turned herself in on a Tuesday, and she was released on the same day on a bail bond of $22,260. But as you know, her attorney, they were not happy. So her attorneys are Marissa Goldberg and Drew Feinsling. No, because she's working with that law firm. I think the law firm is Goldberg, if I'm correct, but we have her attorneys as to be listed as Marissa Goldberg and Drew Feinsling. No, they are blasting the arrest of GloRilla, and they're saying it's a disturbing window, which means that they're saying the timing, it is very disturbing because her home was broken into. Her premises was invaded by criminals, by 3 thieves, and no warrant has been issued for the 3 criminals' arrest. But here you are, because someone wants to protect their property and their belongings, you're arresting this individual when this individual should not be the focus or your center points, at this moment. It should be those intruders. So her legal team, they're saying it's a disturbing window into how warped law enforcement priorities have become, because Miss Woods was out of town when her residence became a target for a group of home invaders who most likely knew she wasn't there. But what they didn't know was that GloRilla had family staying with her that were traumatized by the violent entrance of this group, who grabbed high-value jewelry before taking off once they realized the home was vacant. So the firm then says when her family members, did the right thing and they called law enforcement instead of the law enforcement team investigating the violent home invasion and theft at Miss Woods' home. They instead sought a search warrant when they spotted what they believe was a small amount of marijuana. The law enforcement then sought a arrest warrant for her, even though she hadn't been at her home for some time. No arrest warrants have been issued for the violent home invaders. Miss Woods is a victim, not a suspect. This is our tax dollars at work. Absolutely unbelievable. No, there's so much to this here because they're not denying that the marijuana belonged to GloRilla. If I was her attorney, I would be putting that out there and saying, how are they so sure it belongs to her, even though it was found in the master bedroom? I would be like, how are you so sure, And my second thing that is going off is the police somewhat involved in this robbery and is now trying to deflect? Because if I was her attorney, I would definitely be asking, who are these officers? What are their background history in the law enforcement team? Irrespective of the fact that within yourself that they're doing their job. And when something is illegal in a state and when marijuana is classified as a narcotics, you know that, as a police officer, and if you're a decent officer, while you were called to, investigate a home invasion, if there's something else going on in that home that is deemed as a crime being committed, you're going to also pay attention to that. Only few officers, just like maybe a 1%, may or would have ignored it and let her off with a warning, letting her know this thing is illegal. Marijuana is illegal in the state of Georgia. And, not only do you have it, you have a significant amount of it stored in your closet. And this is a criminal offense. So GloRilla is now having to go to court to answer to drug possession and all of that. But we also know there are two laws, one for the rich and famous and one for the lower class. So naturally, she's going to get off on this. She may just pay some money and, be issued some kind of home probation or something like that. But you guys know nothing serious is going to come out of this. But her attorneys, they're going to do what they are paid to do, and that is to defend her and make her look good in the public eye at all times, even when she's in the wrong. It's their job. And it's the law enforcement team job to do a good job of doing their job because, again, marijuana is in fact illegal in her state. So all GloRilla needs to do is just move to a state where it's illegal and she can store it in her closet as she likes. But until then, she is being held accountable for having marijuana in her home. Now she's out on bail. There's no further update as to when is the court date or court hearing. But you guys know, as per usual, once there's an update available, I'm going to come by and throw you guys, in the midst of what is going on with all the updates. But that's what I have to share in this video with you guys on GloRilla's home invasion, turning into GloRilla getting arrested and charged. Funny, not so funny at the same time. But anywho, guys, let me know what's your 2 cents on the matter. While you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up, share, and just stay safe out there. Stay out of trouble. Peace.